Hello and welcome. You're watching the Top Jewish News channel. My name is Michael Vילנסקי and my guest today is Ambassador of Israel to Argentina, Eyal Selah. Eyal, great to have you.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's my pleasure.
Eyal, I want to ask you first and foremost about the amazing revolution we saw in the diplomatic relations between Israel and Argentina. So there is a new president in Argentina, Javier Milei, who really made the revolution in the diplomatic relations between the two countries and made Argentina, under his leadership, a very pro-Israeli country in South America, which was historically more left-leaning and more opposed to Israel, relatively. I want to ask you, what happened there and who is Javier Milei?
Yeah, the relations were good. It could have been better, as we see now. We are good friends of Argentina for decades. We have some episodes, but we are good friends. Javier Milei is economist. He is a new politician. He believes in freedom. He believes in free market. And he had a spiritual part of his legacy has to do with being friend with Israel and the Jewish people. And as we saw in his last visit last week, he's really good friend of Israel.
And what makes him such a good friend of Israel? What is in his
Mainly
ideology? Yeah, please continue.
Mainly it's personality. As I say, he's libertarian. He believes in freedom. He believes in do whatever you want to do as long as you are not making any problem to anyone else. He's looking himself as someone like Moses that received the Bible, that want to have freedom, that took the people of Israel from being slaves in Egypt to be a free people. So for him, this is a part of it. And it has to do also with his very success in his short political life until now, being first member of Congress and recently being elected to be the president of Argentina.
And I want you to give us a quick overview of the Argentinian Society. We know that the diplomatic relations between Israel and Argentina are very complex because there are some players in the Argentinian Society that are opposed to Israel. And so I really want to ask you, what parts of the Argentinian Society are more opposed to Israel, and what parts of the Argentinian Society are more pro-Israeli?
The majority part of Argentinian is pro-Israeli. Mainly we have in the left, the extreme left, which is not more than 5% of those who represent the Argentinian in the Argentinian Congress, and some pro-Palestinian BDS movement, but they are very small. On the other side, we have big strong Jewish Zionist community. This is the bridge between Israel and Argentina, and we have also in Israel about 100,000 Israelis from Argentinian origin. We have good friends in different parts of Argentina, in Buenos Aires, in the provinces, and in the recent conflict after the October 7 massacre. We need to understand that part of those who are being killed, raped, assassinated, kidnapped are also Israelis from Argentinian origin. Those who made Aliyah from Argentina, or their sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, like the Bibas family, like those who've been rescued 2 days ago, Fernando Merman and Luis Har. So this is also something that connect, especially now in those days, between Argentina and Israel.
And if we look into the future, right, because we saw the Argentinian president promising many things to Israel, like, for example, moving the embassy of Argentina from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which is a very, it's an earthquake in terms of the relations between the two countries, because it's a very Zionist, a very pro-Israel move. What other things can Argentina give to Israel under its new leadership?
During his visit, Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, declared that he will move the embassy to West Jerusalem. This is the way he called it. And he will declare Hamas a terrorist organization. And he is expressing the rights of Israel, legitimate right of Israel to self-defense. He called to the release of the hostages. And even more than that, he said, after visiting Yad Vashem, and he saw the horrors of the Nazis, he said that unlike what's happened in the 40s, that war stood apart and didn't support the Jews, now he cannot stay apart and he must to be on the correct side, which means the side of Israel, and the international community should do whatever it can to be against the terrorism of Hamas, which he called the Nazism of the 21st century.
Let's look at it from another angle. So we talked about what can Argentina do for Israel, but from the other angle, what can Israel do for Argentina? Why should Argentina be interested in good relations with Israel?
This is a very good point, and in the diplomatic relations, we need that it will be a win-win situation, which means both sides will gain from it, and we can help Argentina. We are buying very good Argentinian meat, kosher meat, and we can buy more. We can consume other Argentinian goods in agriculture, in other aspects. We can provide Argentina with Israeli technology, with Israeli water system, with Israeli irrigation that will help them to produce more. We can continue the scientific cooperation, cyber cooperation, and much more.
So I suppose that you, as the ambassador of Israel to Argentina, have met personally the Argentinian president, Javier Milei. And I want to ask you a curious question. What impression did he make on you, the Argentinian president?
He's a very smart person with a lot of knowledge in economy. He's also a very spiritual person, that this is part of his connection to Israel. And as we saw it, I've been with him in the visit to the Western Wall, to Me'arot HaKotel, into other places in Jerusalem, and you see the influence on him. And he's a good friend of Israel and of the Jewish people.
And in terms of Argentinian politics, my question to you will be, how strong is the earthquake that he made in domestic politics? How big are the changes that he promised inside Argentina?
He is doing a huge process of change. In his, you projected before his speech when he was sworn to be a president, and he said, I am going to cut. He cut the government. Just to give you an example, in Argentina, there is only 8 ministers. This is a country the size of Europe. No, he came here, as you see in the video, with the commercial flights, not with the president plane. So he's doing a huge process trying to make the Argentinian economy healthier, which is not easy. A lot of people will lose. He's cutting all of the subsidies. In Israel, for instance, we are giving subsidies to part of the society. Try to imagine that no one will get subsidized from anything until the economy will get better. So this is a huge process, and we hope he will get the support.
I think that even us here in Israel, we can learn many things from the Argentinian president Javier Milei in terms of economy. And you know, there are many people who compare him to Donald Trump. Would you say that this comparison is accurate? In what ways is he similar to Donald Trump? And in what ways is he different from him?
I think there is some similarity with him, with Trump, with Bolsonaro, but this is a unique phenomenon. Javier Milei is a phenomenon of knowing how to use the social network, knowing how to get connected to the people, knowing how to have his ideas, and also his ideological as libertarian is different than the other leaders that you mentioned before.
And is his ascent to power in Argentina showing a different tendency in South America, which was, a region of the world which was generally more left-leaning, right? Because there are many communist regimes, many socialist regimes. We can look at Cuba, we can look at Venezuela, right? We can look at Colombia and some parts of their history. Can we say that the whole of South America is undergoing changes?
South America or Latin America in general, it's a society that the pendulum is moving very sharply from one side to another. So in every situation, things can change. We saw what's happening in Brazil. Previously, first it was Lula, then it moved to Bolsonaro, and now it moved back to Lula. So the political situation in Argentina, part of it has to do with very changes from one side to another. So we need to see and wait. There are today some countries in Latin America also with the same line, and some countries, as you mentioned before, which are representing the more leftist part of the ideology in Latin America.
Ambassador Eyal Selah, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom in South American and Argentinian politics with us. It's always great to have you.
As we say in Spanish, muchas gracias.
Thank you also to all of our viewers that saw this interview. Please don't forget to subscribe to us on all of our social media platforms and especially here on YouTube. Thank you again and have a great day.